The story of the first Passover. A very, very long time ago, the Jewish people were slaves in Egypt. They had to work for the king or Pharaoh. The Egyptians were very cruel to the Jews. Moses was a Jew. One day Moses heard the voice of God. God said, "Go to Pharaoh. Tell Pharaoh to let the Jews leave Egypt." So Moses went to Pharaoh. "Let my people go," he said. "No," said Pharaoh, "get back to work. Let my people go." Then God turned all the water in Egypt to blood. The river turned to blood, and all the fish in the river died. The people could not drink the water. Yuck. But Pharaoh would not let the Jews leave Egypt. Then God made frogs come out of the river. Millions of frogs jumped everywhere. Frogs covered the land. Still, Pharaoh would not let the Jews leave Egypt. And God sent gnats. Millions and millions of tiny little gnats, or little flies, flew on the people and animals. Gnats. But Pharaoh would not let the Jews leave Egypt. Then God sent flies. Then God killed all the cows and horses and donkeys. Then God made sores on the people's skin, and he sent hail that killed the plants in the field. He sent locusts to eat all the plants. He sent darkness for 3 days. Flies, cows and horses and donkeys died. Sores on the skin, hail, locusts, and 3 days of darkness. But Pharaoh would not let the Jews leave Egypt. Finally, God told the Jews to put the blood of a lamb over the doors of the Jewish houses. At night, God killed the firstborn son of every Egyptian family, but he passed over the doors of the Jewish homes. So put blood of a lamb over the doors of the Jewish house. So we use this, Christians use this to remember Jesus. Blood of Jesus, blood of the lamb. All the Egyptians were crying. Even the firstborn son of Pharaoh was dead. This time Pharaoh said, "The Jews may leave Egypt. Go." The Jews left their homes very quickly. They did not have time to let their bread rise. They followed Moses. They went to the east. Pharaoh saw them go. "We need our slaves," he thought. He sent his soldiers to stop the Jews. The Jews were at the Red Sea. God made a wind that divided the waters. The Jews crossed the Red Sea on dry land. Pharaoh's soldiers followed the Jews into the sea. The wind changed. The sea covered Pharaoh and his soldiers. They all died. Every year, Jews remember the Passover. They tell about the flight from Egypt at the Passover Seder, Passover dinner. Do you know these words? Find the words in the story. Find these words in the story. Draw a line under them. Copy the words. Write the meanings. Slaves, Egypt, Pharaoh, cruel, voice, God, leave, left, blood, turn water to blood, die, died, frogs, to cover, covered, land, gnats, flies, sores, hail, locust, darkness, finally, lamb, firstborn, son, passed over, quickly, soldiers, sea, wind, divided, crossed, dry, remember, flight. The Jews were slaves in where? The Jews were slaves in Egypt. The king of the Egyptians was Moses or Pharaoh. The king of the Egyptians was Pharaoh. God tells Moses to tell Pharaoh to let the Jews leave Egypt or come to Egypt. God told Moses to tell Pharaoh to let the Jews leave Egypt. Pharaoh said yes, or Pharaoh said no. Ding, 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 Pharaoh said no. God turned the river to what? Water or blood? God turned the river to blood. God sent what and what and what and what? And he killed all the cows and sores on people's skin and 3 days of what? And he killed all the cows and horses and donkeys. God sent flies, killed the donkeys and horses and pigs. They had sores on people's skin. 3 days of darkness. Number 7, but Pharaoh would not let the who leave Egypt. Soldiers are Jews. But Pharaoh would not let the Jews leave Egypt. Then the Jews put the what of a lamb over their doors, bones or blood. Then the Jews put the blood of a lamb over their doors. God killed the firstborn sons of the who. He did not kill the who. Jews or Egyptians. God killed the firstborn sons of the Jews. He did not, of the Egyptians. He did not kill the Jews. Who said that the Jews could leave? Pharaoh or God? Then who said the Jews could leave? Pharaoh said, okay, you can leave. The Jews left Egypt very, slowly or quickly? Quickly. The Jews left Egypt very quickly. They did not have time to let their what rise? Sun or bread? They did not have time to let their bread rise. They came to the Red Sea or river? They came to the Red Sea. Who sent a wind that divided the water? Pharaoh or God? Who sent a wind that divided the water? God. God sent it. The Jews crossed over the sea on dry land. Pharaoh's slaves or soldiers followed them. The Jews crossed over the sea on dry land. Pharaoh's soldiers followed them. Sorry, I got that wrong. The wind changed and the sea covered them. Pharaoh's soldiers all swam or died. Pharaoh's soldiers all died. Who is Pharaoh? Leader of the Jews, king of the Egyptians, the oldest boy in a family, grasshopper, little balls of ice, or a person who is not free and who works without pay. Pharaoh is king of the Egyptians. Who was Moses? Who was Moses? Leader of the Jews. What's a slave? What's a slave? The oldest boy in the family, a grasshopper, little balls of ice, or a person who is not free and who works without pay. A slave is a person who is not free and works without pay. Hail. What is hail? The oldest boy in a family, grasshopper, or little balls of ice. Hail is little balls of ice. What is a locust? It's a locust, the oldest boy in a family, or a grasshopper? Locust is a grasshopper. And the firstborn son, who is the firstborn son? The oldest boy in a family. Sample some of the foods of the Seder and have a tasting party. Matzo is bitter herbs. Matzo bread, bitter herbs, parsley, horseradish. Charoset, chopped apple, honey, and nuts.